Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and give us a thumbs up if you like this video. This is my first attempt trying out the knotless braids, and knotless braids are basically low tension box braids which are installed using the feeding technique with the absence of a knot. I'm using pre-stretched expression hair which requires no feathering. I then feed them onto my braiding rack, which in fact is a thread rack found on Amazon. So the first thing I do is pat my hair, which will form the first layer, around the nape, and I use the rat tail comb to do this. I'm going to be doing 4 braids on this layer. My hair has been washed, conditioned and pre-stretched with twists, and I will go ahead to seal in the moisture with Momo's natural deluxe shea mix. So now I begin my braid. I braid my own hair by itself. 1, 2, 3, and then 4 times, and then I feed in the hair. I pass it on top of the braid, and I use only one side of the extension. So if you can notice, the right hand side is left out. So when I've done one set, I pass the hair on the right over and back to the left. And then I repeat this process about 3 times for this particular braid. So at this point, I'm going to be braiding normally. So this is my first ever knotless braid. I mean, this is like the first attempt, and I didn't really like how it looked. It felt a bit bulky. I just felt like something didn't look right. So I tried something slightly different for the next braid. As usual, I use edge control around the perimeters of the braid so that the little flyaway hair can go into the braid more easily. And this time I started with extensions, so split my hair into 3 as usual, but the extension is only on 2 sides, which is the far left and the far right. And then I start the braid. So I braid normally, but one side of the hair would have no extension. And once I've done it a few times, okay, I did it just once and it felt secure, I pass the hair on top as usual, like I did in the previous braid. And yeah, I just went ahead passing the extension on top and leaving the right hand side and pushing it back to the left hand side. I did this 4 times for this braid. So in this braid, I try to use smaller pieces of hair so that it looks a little bit more natural. So yeah, this is me finished with this one. Now I'm just braiding down the normal way. So it's still knotless because, I mean, it doesn't have that bulky knot that it would have had if I started with a full size braid, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I did the same thing for this next braid. I started with extensions. I'm struggling here. I had no mirror and I was just working with my feelings. And yeah, it worked out. I actually was able to detangle the hair. I didn't realize until I watched this footage. So as usual, we pass the hair on top. I hold the hair down with my ring finger on my right hand, and then I do one set of braids and then pass that hair back around and then put it under, so it doesn't even look like there's been any addition of hair. It has a smooth transition. So that's just the whole gist about the feeding technique. Now I'm braiding my hair normally for this one because this hair is quite long. I tried it again. I braided my hair 5 times and then I added the hair. This time I used smaller pieces. I had already gotten some experience at this point. And then I braided and passed it through, and then just basically continuing the same process. But this time I try to use smaller pieces and do more times so that it has a smoother transition and looks like it's growing out of my scalp. So I'm using the brick layering method, which is on every layer you kind of layer the next set to kind of form like a brick wall. That's what I'll be doing. So you can see that I'm on the next section. At this point, I had about 30 braids left to do, which was quite encouraging because at least, I mean, I could count down. I section my hair into bantu knots to make it easier to braid. So to give you another angle, I'm going to show you how I did the braid around the front. I apologize in advance that the footage wasn't great as it was slightly out of focus, but I did the same thing. So I started with extension here and I passed the extension on the top of the hair, braided it one set like I'm doing now, and then pass the hair back. So pass the hair on the top and then braid it. So I let go of that piece of hair, as you can see, and then pull that back to the back, and then one more time. So I let go of the hair that was in my ring finger and pinky, and then yeah, pass this back. So that's basically the technique. I know I've shown you 4 different braids. I promise if you try this out, it's trial and error, but I think if you follow the technique that I've explained, you should definitely get it right. So this is now done finally. I must confess it wasn't an easy process for a first timer, but finishing it definitely felt good. So I braided the hair down, to like the blue parts. And then I did something else. I dipped it in hot water, but you must pay a lot of caution when doing this because, of course, it's hot water. I dipped it in to give it some seal and also to give some more movement. Just look at that movement. I could manipulate these braids from day one. Just look at how I'm going to be styling it effortlessly. They are amazing. Knotless braids is definitely a win for me. I'm going to be doing it again. And one thing I learned was definitely to make the parts smaller, because I felt like it was scanty. I really like fuller braids, but to be honest with you, these braids were actually worth it because I didn't get any breakage. It just felt really light and easy to manage. And the installation time was approximately 8 to 9 hours. I know that sounds a lot, but I promise you can do it quicker depending on how you pat the hair and also how quick you are with braiding. And then also the hair can last about 2 to 6 weeks. I would advise you to keep it less. Don't keep it for the 6 weeks. I get bored easily, so I don't keep my hair long, and I kept mine for about 2.5 weeks and then washed them and changed them into fox locks. So that's all from me, guys. Bye, and see you on the next video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also the notification bell so that you do not miss any other videos coming up soon. Bye.